Hey, welcome back. Today we're jumping into the story of an ancient center of learning that was so incredibly advanced, so influential, you could honestly call it the world's very first great university.
So let me just ask you this. Imagine you're a brilliant scholar about 1,500 years ago. Where do you go to study? I mean, what was the Ivy League, the Oxford, the Harvard of the ancient world? Well, the answer is probably not what you're thinking.
We're talking about a place called Nalanda. And get this isn't some lost city from a myth or legend. Its ruins are a real, protected UNESCO World Heritage Site that you can see today in Bihar, India. It's a powerful reminder of just how real and influential this place was.
Now, the story of Nalanda isn't just about how smart it was, but about its incredible staying power. This wasn't some flash in the pan. Nope, this was an institution built to last, kicking off a journey of knowledge that would span an incredible 600 years.
Think about this. Founded around 427 AD, Nalanda was a powerhouse of learning for 600 years. I mean, that's longer than most of today's top universities have even been around. It thrived through the golden ages of several major dynasties and only met its tragic end in 1193, bringing its 6th century reign of knowledge to a close.
So how in the world did Nalanda pull this off? How did it become so successful and for so long? What was its secret sauce? Well, it wasn't just one thing. It was like they had a deliberate blueprint for greatness built on a few really powerful pillars.
We've kind of broken it down into 7 key pillars that really made Nalanda what it was. Okay, so it started as a Buddhist monastery, sure, but it was its amazing location, the royal funding, a super diverse curriculum, world-class faculty, a legendary library, and its unique teaching style that turned it into a global powerhouse. Let's dig into these.
First off, location, location, location. It was absolutely key. Nalanda was perfectly placed at the crossroads of major trade routes. That made it a buzzing hub not just for goods, but for people and, most importantly, for new ideas. It basically became a magnet for curious minds from all over Asia and even further.
You know, great institutions don't just happen, and Nalanda was no different. It got serious, consistent support and funding from the Gupta emperors and the dynasties that followed. This wasn't a one-off grant. It was a long-term investment that gave it the stability and the resources it needed to grow for centuries.
And what they taught there, wow. At a time when education was usually super specialized, Nalanda was way more than just a religious school. The curriculum was incredibly broad. We're talking philosophy and theology, of course, but also astronomy, mathematics, medicine, and literature. This huge range of subjects is what really makes it feel like a university we'd recognize today.
You know how every great university has its star professors? Well, Nalanda had them too. It was home to some of the most famous scholars of the ancient world, thinkers like Nagarjuna and Asanga. These guys were absolute intellectual giants, and their presence alone was a huge draw, attracting the best and brightest students who wanted to learn from the masters.
And at the very heart of the whole operation was its library. And I mean, what a library! We're talking about one of the biggest and most important collections of knowledge anywhere in the world at that time, filled with thousands and thousands of priceless manuscripts. This library wasn't just a room with books, it was the intellectual engine driving the entire university.
But you know, maybe the most radical thing about Nalanda was how they taught. This wasn't about students just sitting there and memorizing old texts. Not at all. The entire system was built on conversation, on dialogue, on intense debate. Students were constantly challenged to think for themselves, to question things, and to defend their own arguments. It was a remarkably modern way to learn.
So when you put all these pieces together, the location, the funding, the killer curriculum, the star faculty, and this revolutionary teaching style, you start to see why Nalanda was truly a university that was way ahead of its time. It really created the blueprint for higher education that we still see echoes of today.
And seriously, when you put it side by side with a modern university, the parallels are just stunning. An international student body? Nalanda had it. Different academic departments for all kinds of subjects? Yep, check. A huge central library and a culture of critical debate? Check and check. The very things we think make a university great today were already happening at Nalanda over 1,500 years ago.
So in the end, Nalanda was so much more than just a place. It was a powerful idea. The idea that knowledge grows with diversity, that it needs support, that it thrives on debate and open access to information. Its 600-year legacy is proof of that. So it kind of leaves us with a question, right? What can its incredible story teach us today about building our own institutions that are meant to last for centuries?